Hello, everyone. I'm Julianne Meyer. You are watching Own Your Wellness. I am so excited to be here today. We've got an amazing guest, and I actually know her from before the show. So, this is one of those things where I'm extra excited because I get to hang out with somebody that I admire and appreciate. And I'm so glad that she gets to share her wealth of knowledge with all of us today because not only does she know about beauty products, she's the queen of connecting and collaborating. And I mean, if you want to know people, you need to know her. So anyway, without further ado, let me introduce our guest today, Phyllis Marlene Benstein. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Julianne.
So glad to have you here today. And, as I mentioned, we met each other before, thank goodness, which is kind of unusual for this show. Usually I don't get to meet people in person first, but that's how I know how awesome you are. So welcome.
Thank you. And thank you for the opportunity to share today.
Absolutely. And you do have a ton of stuff, more than an hour's worth, but we're going to fit in as much as we can. So why don't we start with you telling us a bit about yourself and your own wellness journey?
All right. So I am a mother of 4 and 1 bonus daughter. I've got 6 grandchildren, an amazing husband, some thriving businesses. And you're right, I am a master connector. That's what I love to do. I love finding the synergies and what people do and see who I could connect them. And I love the topic of your show because I have had quite the wellness journey that got me to where I am today and actually what I'm doing today. So I had lots of food and environmental allergies growing up, and I got rid of some of the food allergies. And my mom was aware. My mom was an RN, a registered nurse, and she was always cooking fresh food. It was all about eating safely, but looking back on it, she wasn't so good on the product side of it. So it really, and so the first thing that happened to me is that way back, I loved to drink Tab, the soda, right? And so this was my first introduction to bad toxins. And so I took a case of it to college with me. And little did I know that they took the sugar out and put in NutraSweet. And
Oh,
I got these incredible, debilitating migraines. And so then I started to really look at ingredients and things. And my background is electrical engineering. I spent 25 years in the tech world, but I was a co-op in the beginning when I was in college. And I worked with suspected carcinogens in a material lab. I started out as a chemical engineering major. And after this situation, I went to electrical engineering because I'm kind of a math whiz. But anyway, I was covered from head to toe. I had a respirator. My hair was pulled back. I had rubber gloves up to here, short gloves here, a turtleneck, and a cape on to protect me from that. And that was an awareness of how tiny the toxins are that are all around us. They're airborne, and you don't even know it. And so then post college, so I graduated from college, switched to electrical engineering, got that degree. And I started to have a lot of skin and digestive tract issues from the stress, just life and whatever. And so I really decided right then and there to do some research into, what was making me sick. I remember my mom had told me that I was allergic to, or I had a sensitivity to sulfites, which are a preservative, which is why she cooked clean. And I probably never realized it until, I got older and was doing fast food and restaurants and all this other stuff. And I've always had a sensitivity to medicines. Opioids don't work on me. I take an aspirin when most people would be taking a painkiller. And so the thing that really caused me to go in the direction I'm in is when I thought I was having appendicitis, and I went to the hospital, and it was actually a burst ovarian cyst, and they gave me Dilaudid. And I had my worst anaphylactic shock, out of body experience experience in 2005. And then I said, you know what, this is enough. There are so many, or there were starting to be an awareness toward naturally based products and, safer ingredients, homeopathic, holistic remedies instead of taking drugs. And so I really started to read the labels. I mean, really, really read the labels of everything and cook fresh. And right now, most people, when they leave the house in the morning, they've introduced themselves to so many toxins, but we use purified water. The products that I'm working with are toxin free. And, even the things we cook in, you have to make sure that your fry pans and your cookware is not emitting toxins as well. So this all together put me into a new situation where I can, share my experiences and share my knowledge and help people not do all the guesswork that I did and maybe not get so sick and go toward a healthier, cleaner lifestyle.
Something that I really appreciate about what you do is there's so many people out there that will have these symptoms and these things, that are caused by the toxins. And instead of eliminating the toxin, because they don't know,
right,
they'll take some sort of pill to counteract it. And of course, they just never get any better. And then, of course, another pill, it is another toxin that you're putting into your body. It's going to throw your body out of homeostasis as well. So I really do appreciate that you teach about this, and that because there's just so many people out there that don't know. Now, the first question I'm going to ask you is, what was the most surprising thing to you to find out that was toxic? Like for me, it was the dryer sheets. Like I had no idea that dryer sheets were they smell so good. But what is something that was surprising to you?
So I do speak a lot on this, and I update my presentations, before I speak. And I was doing some research, and this was validation. So my mom was prematurely gray at 16, and she started dyeing her hair dark brown like mine. And when I'm doing research for a talk I did last year at a women's expo, I found a study that linked the dark and the charcoal hair colors to non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. And sure enough, 25 years old, my mother had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and she was radiated, and and she survived it till years later. But that was an eye opener. And that's kind of what got me into the whole thing with the hair. Whatever you wash your hair with goes into your bloodstream in just 26 seconds. But reading about this study about the non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, knowing that my mom had it and she had been dyeing her hair for like 9 years. And, your liver can't filter off the toxins anymore. And so that's where the side effects come from.
That is disturbing. Yeah, I think about my hair and Ooh,
there's naturally based lines though. The color I use is all nutrient, and it's vegetable encapsulated, micro encapsulated color.
I love that. So it's not like you have to sacrifice beauty, to be healthy.
Sometimes, yes, but it's getting better.
I hear you. There are alternatives. But on that note, we do need to go to a quick commercial break. So we will be back in just a moment, everyone. And for those of you who are watching us live, hello, welcome. And like I mentioned, we'll be back in just a minute. Of course, now I have something in my eye. Welcome back, everyone. Let me bring out our guest so we can start talking as I poke myself in the face. Welcome back, Phyllis. I'm
Hi.
so glad to have you here. Sorry. Of course, it happens right as soon as we come back, not during the commercial. But anyway, for everybody who's just joining us now, we have Phyllis Marlene Benstein, and we've been talking a bit about toxins and beauty. And, you know, I would love, because we were just talking about hair. Why don't we start with that? Because you have a couple of things that you could talk about with the hair in particular. So would you mind sharing?
About the products?
Yes, please.
All right. So I was talking about my health journey, and I walked away from my engineering career in 2011, and I did a few different things, but I fell into this opportunity with a friend and business partner of mine for hair care. And there was an opportunity to be part of a founding leader in an anti-aging hair care company that was totally clean. And, you know, I've been looking for clean products. If you had seen my hair before, it was horrendous. It was breaking, it was falling out, it was just terrible. And so I partnered with Monique Global, which is a hair care company that's a world leader in toxin-free, botanically based products. And they've been the number one hair care line since 2017. And so the reason I was attracted to this business is because of the data. When they first came out, they published their clinical data, and they third party clinically test things before they're released to the market. So, you know, we're all under stress. There's environmental stress. There's, you know, stress after the pandemic. There's job security stress. There's people who don't like their job stress. There's environmental stress. And the hair loss has become a big problem. And, you know, it could be medicines, it could be your diet, but especially for women, if they don't know about the toxins that are in their bottle of shampoo, they just keep clogging their pores. And that stifles the oxygen and the oxygen flow. And over time, it just, you know, the little hole that your hair comes out of, the follicle gets suffocated. And then you suffer breakage. So what I'm really proud of is that we teamed up with the University of Miami for this hair thinning defense serum that has gone viral. It's a breakthrough system to target hair loss. And they always do studies. And so 8 of the 10 people felt that it improved their hair regrowth by using, it's actually a shampoo, a conditioner, and this hair serum. And it contains essential ingredients like biotin, D-biotin, caffeine, and melatonin. So with the University of Miami, we determined that melatonin helps with healthy hair regrowth. But in general, these products, the packaging is absolutely beautiful. They put your scalp in the optimal condition for healthy hair regrowth. So, you know, a lot of products on the market contain silicones We were first to market with a plant-based silicone. Silicones that are not plant-based are waxy and plasticky, and they coat the hair. And so that's my favorite product. So I had a lot of hair loss a year ago after the pandemic, and being sick. So, mine's getting thicker and thicker. And another product that's really important to me is our brand new BB cream. This is broad spectrum SPF 40 tint. It's thicker than a moisturizer. I use it as a foundation.
Nice.
I use a regular color, a highlight color, and a contour color. But what's important about this is it's approved by the American Cancer Society. And it's so important. I always tell people that I help you age gracefully and safely with education and clean products. But sun is something that ages us, causes wrinkles, and you need to be protected. And ultimately, you could get skin cancer. So I'm a huge proponent of wearing sunscreen because I live in two very sunny areas. I live in the Denver area, which is a mile high in altitude with 300 sunny days a year. And then I'm in Southwest Florida a lot also. And going out with sunscreen is a sure way to damage your skin.
It is. And, I'm really glad that you brought that up because I'm a pale person and I live in Southern California and I did not wear a sunscreen for so long. And when I moved here, and not that, I should have been the entire time because I've had precancerous stuff and all the whole thing, but denial is, strong sometimes. I'm telling you, like, I didn't have any wrinkles at all before I moved. And then it was like, oh my gosh. And now I've got little freckles and all the things. And so I'm a huge fan of sunscreen at this point in my life.
Yeah, we actually have a new glycolic face peel. Everything we do is gentle, and it's got like 8% glycolic acid, cucumber, water, and witch hazel. And so, there's still hope because your skin on your face renews about every 28 days. Yeah. And so if you were to gently, peel off the top layer, eventually you could get rid of fine lines and wrinkles.
Yeah, I love that because not everybody watching has, or like me, I was young and I didn't have any wrinkles. I didn't have any like visible sun damage. And then it's like, oh my gosh, it's there. It's a little late, but
well, you're beautiful. It's not. You look beautiful.
Thank you. That's very sweet. But yeah, I love this idea of really taking care of yourself because I know for me, when I first started out, I didn't really realize, I understood the whole idea of toxins in my food and toxins in my water and my drinks and things like that. But I didn't think about my skin and I didn't think about my hair. But of course, right. Your skin's your biggest organ. So it makes perfect sense that, that would be something that you have to be careful what you put on your body.
Right.
So what are some other things that you would recommend people do as far as like to be aware of toxins? Like, I mentioned the dryer sheets and you mentioned hair dye, and I'm just curious what what might be surprising, or I don't know, because like there's just so many different things out there. Is there other things that people can do that maybe they're not aware of?
So I'm actually on a mission to help clean up salons. I'll be working on a course on that. And, it's being aware of the type of salon you go into. So, pardon me. So keratin treatments, Brazilian blowouts, even if they were to use a non-formaldehyde version, when they heat the hair up to 450 degrees, that turns into formaldehyde. And if you notice, the salon professional wears her PPE, her personal protection equipment. She's got her gloves on and everything else, or maybe a mask, but you are breathing in that secondhand gas and that secondhand smoke. And you can usually tell when you walk into a salon if it's toxic or not. But that's one of the things that I'm really passionate about, is doing your homework where you get your hair done. Very, very important. And another thing that I'm really set on is I have a doula expert on my team, and she always tells me that babies are being born with over 200 unnecessary toxins in their cord blood. And
Oh,
that's
wow.
because the moms, when they're, they're careful when they're pregnant, maybe, and
Mhm.
nursing, but 40%, 40 to 60% of whatever we rub on our bodies is absorbed also. And so it's more than mothers, especially pregnant moms, nursing moms need to be aware of that. And that's another big reason for hair loss. And that's where that product will also help um, postpartum
Mhm.
as well. But it's just the awareness, like we were talking about, have a filter in your shower. We have a charcoal filter shower
Mhm.
head. There's different water systems. Water is the most important thing to be aware of if it's contaminated. We only use spring water, and we have a reverse osmosis in our kitchen. There's different companies that have great water, but if you think about it, that's something that you can be aware of. I actually get
Mhm.
sick from the magnesium chloride that they put in different brands of bottled water. I can only drink spring water or um, purified water.
Well, I get asked this question a lot about, is it safe to drink the tap water? I'm just like,
Ooh, I wouldn't.
you probably won't die from it right away. But I mean, if you think about your body is mostly made up of water, wouldn't you want that to be like the most quality thing that you use and put on yourself and in yourself and all those things? That's what I always think about is the water too.
Absolutely. So we buy a big jug now. We cook with it, everything. I mean, that's the beginning of, that's a really low level of awareness. And
Mhm.
another thing that people can do is, like you were saying, the medicines pollute us. And people
Mhm.
don't realize that their sluggishness and their headaches and all this stuff is toxic buildup. So essential oils, other things that you can do instead of popping that pill.
Yeah, I like that idea of changing. There's sick care and then there's health care. And sometimes you have to do like some of the sick stuff, but what are you doing for health? There's a difference.
Right.
Actually, I had lunch today with a chiropractor, and she was talking about how when something's out of alignment in your back, how it affects everything, like your organs and everything else. And I was like, wow. Or if you have a tooth missing, how it can change your posture. And it's just absolutely fascinating. We don't realize how much everything is connected.
Right. Right. And
So
the domino effect, right?
exactly. What would you think though? Because I mean, we've been talking a little bit about, preventative. And so, I mean, I think number one would be like changing out products to something that's all natural or botanical and things like that. But what else can somebody do to sort of, what I'm asking is, do the toxins eliminate themselves if you change what you're putting in?
Eventually they should. You
Mhm.
sweat them out, go to the bathroom and let them out. But some of them get trapped in the organs. There's different ways to do detoxes. So sometimes it depends how big the buildup is. Some are really impossible to get out. Some of the older people that are sedentary, it's so important to walk, to breathe fresh air every day, to wear your sun
Mhm.
protection, but to get out in the sunlight, and move. That's so important, is moving.
I'm glad you mentioned that because a lot of people are like, but I don't want to go to the gym. Like, I
Right.
didn't hear you say gym in that sentence. So, what are some of your favorite ways to move? Is it walking or what do you like to do personally?
We walk every day. My husband and I, we like to get up for sunrise, and we walk on the beach. and or on the sidewalk if we're in Colorado. It's too far to go to the mountains for sunrise, too early. But we walk a lot and we enjoy hiking, walking, anything outdoors. Um, we work inside a little bit, but we prefer to be outside. So getting that fresh air. I'm allergic to the gym, so you won't find me working out anymore at the gym. That was a long time ago, but I still get lots of exercise.
Exactly. A lot of movement. And I just, it bothers me. I mean, every time you clean your house, that's working out. People don't
That's
think of
right.
it that way.
That's right.
I mean, it doesn't have to be lifting weights. And that is such an American and North American thing. So I lived in Europe for a while and there's like no gym, or at least back when I lived there were no gyms. There's like three in all of like the outskirts of Florence, just three total. That's crazy.
But moving, dancing, swimming, those are all great ways. If you don't want to go to the gym, those are alternatives to get some cardio.
Yeah,
Bike riding.
yeah, exactly. It doesn't have to be, gym rat grunting and, throwing weights on the ground or nothing.
Right.
I like that. I put up this website a few times. But what can people find when they come here?
So that is my main landing page, and there you can text me, you can call me, you can message me, you can have a beauty consultation, a hair care, a skin care, a wellness consultation. You can watch an opportunity video. You can take a quiz about hair care, skin care, or wellness. You can join my birthday club. So I send you a birthday treat the month of your birthday. And of course, like you said at the beginning, I'm a master connector. There is also a network with me page that you can fill out that really tells me how I can best support you. So there's a series of questions in there because I'm about building authentic relationships. I will never try to sell you. I want to help you. I want to solve a problem for you. I want to serve you. So this network with me goes to a form that you answer a series of questions about how you would like to collaborate or who you're looking to collaborate with.
I love that. And for those of you who are watching, I vouch for Phyllis. What she says is accurate and true. She is a genuinely interested person, interested in helping people connect. So, and be better, right? I mean, if you don't know about the products, how are you supposed to, we're trying to take the guesswork out is what I'm trying to say.
Right. And there's also a thing on there, are you interested in learning about a connect and collaborate chapter? I think you touched on it before, but I have my own line of networking chapters that are growing nationwide. And that provides an opportunity for people, four opportunities for each chapter a month. You can either own it, speak, sponsor, or attend. And so that's my way of connecting more people.
Exactly. And, after COVID, we need to reconnect. In
Yes.
California, there's still, I was looking for networking events around here and there's not a lot or they're all virtual. I'm just like, come on, people. COVID, please, let's go back to real life.
It depends on the area. I've noticed some places are opening up really slow compared to others.
That's very true. That is very true. We do need to go to a commercial break again. So we're going to be back in just a moment. And once again, thank you for watching us live. It is that time for commercials. So we're going to be back in just a moment.
When drug or alcohol addiction take over, things begin to disappear. Your friends, your family, and eventually, you. Recommended by Dr. Phil, New Method Wellness can help get your life back with individualized treatment plans for dual diagnosis clients. New Method Wellness provides the most highly credentialed treatment in a safe and welcome environment. Call New Method Wellness for your free consultation and ask about our national accreditations. Together, we can put the pieces back together.
Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversation. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
Welcome back, everyone. Before we get going, I want to mention, in case you didn't know yet, Achieve TV, my network, is launching next month. We will be going through E360 TV as well, but it's going to be, that's where this show is going to be housed. It's where our world's greatest motivators is going to be housed, and a bunch of new shows coming your way. So until then, let's bring on our guest again. Welcome back, Miss Phyllis Marlene Benstein.
Hello.
I got to get the Marlene in because we don't want to confuse you with the other one. So
That's right.
Anyway, during the commercial, I was thinking about like the idea of connecting and networking and, all that. I mean, it can be fun, but a lot of people are intimidated by that. So what would you recommend to somebody who maybe, wants to get out there or even, promote themselves and just be known so that they can meet some more people and grow their business and do all that? Maybe they're afraid to go by themselves. What would you recommend as like a first step?
Well, I would first make sure that you're prepared. And I think that's where the fear comes from, because people aren't prepared when they go networking. And, you need to have a purpose, be intentful. But the number one thing that you need is, who are you? What do you do? What problems do you solve? Do you have a 30-second, a 60-second? Because you don't know, how much time do you have? Or if you're just networking, I would suggest like a mixer where you can walk around where there's not structure, but you got to get your messaging down. You have to pique that interest so people want to learn more.
What is your take on business cards?
So I have just about gotten away from business cards, but I do have events and networking groups that I'm in that there's everything from very young to very old. And so I still carry a few business cards, but that's not what I do. I have a QR code on my phone everywhere as I go. And they can just scan my QR code. It goes to the links that you showed earlier. Right. And it's connected to my tech. It's connected to my effing simple CRM that has nurture campaigns in it. I need to capture it. My husband will tell you, I have stacks of business cards and I didn't even feel like entering them into everything, but that's, it's all about nurturing those relationships. And, when I first started networking a very, very long time ago, it was all about how many cards can you collect? and work in the room like that. Well, that's not the way to network anymore. The way to network is by building authentic relationships. My biggest advice is asking the person you're talking to, how can I best serve you?
That is probably the best piece of advice I've heard in a long time when it comes to that. And who doesn't want to, tell or talk about themselves?
Right.
Like this is what I need. Because you
Right.
never know, and that's the thing too that I would love to mention is you don't know who they know. Maybe they're
Right.
not the person that you're going to end up speaking with, but you don't know who they're going to connect you with.
I just posted that today because I run a Friday mastermind. Connect with me on those sites if you'd like to be a guest on at 2 p.m. Mountain, speed networking for a half hour online. But you're right. It's who do I know that's probably your dream connection that I'm going to meet. But then again, it goes back to you have to have your messaging down. If I'm going to introduce you to somebody, I need to know, who, what do you need? What do you do? Why do you want to be, connected to them? I need to learn more before I just openly connect people. So it gets down to the messaging.
Yeah, I think that that's important. And also I want to circle back to the idea you touched on this, but the physical business card versus, the QR code. I like the idea of having both because you never know. You don't want to alienate people.
Right.
But at the same time, like for me, I'm a lot more likely to connect again if it's in my phone versus a piece of paper that I'm like carrying around and losing my wallet or in my handbag or something like that. So
Right.
it's forgotten, but if it's there, it's in that phone thing that I like is practically glued to my head then or hand, then yeah, I'm a lot more likely to reach out
Right.
again. So for somebody that maybe wants to, I don't know, I mean, not all networking events are created equal, obviously. Would you recommend somebody going to something just kind of general, or is there like niche things available?
So it's all about intentional networking with a purpose. I have to research the group I'm going to. What is their reach? What is their target audience? What type of people? If it's meetup, I always go and I look at who the guests are. I know ahead of time who I want to make a connection with because I pre-looked at the guest list. And so, it's a waste of time to just go to any networking event. Who are they serving? What type of people are going to be there?
I think that is really important. And you said this before, but I want to touch on it again. It's like, go with a purpose. Don't just go there to like hang out.
And a profit. Go with a purpose that you're going to get profit. I mean, that you want to convert these people for what you do.
But once again, first of all, and I have to say this, money is not evil. Money is not bad. Money is money. It's just energy. Right. But you said something that I really, want to like say again is that you go to build relationships too. It's not like you're just, the whole point of networking is to create business and sell, but it is to connect with people. It is to build those relationships. And when you say to, sometimes like if you can keep your eyes open, sometimes the person that you don't think would, maybe they're not going to invest in you, but they end up sending you, once again, they're a connector as well. They end up sending you thousands and thousands of dollars worth of,
right.
Even though they don't, like, who knows?
Because you have to be likable, personable, and I do a lot of image stuff as well. And it's about showing up with your messaging and dressed for who your brand is. So people aren't confused.
Yes. I think that's a really good point because if you're a professional and you show up and this is California, hello, right. In California, people show up in like flip-flops and board shorts. I'm like, you're an executive of the ocean? Like, what's going on here? No, I like that though, because people And then it's easier to remember what you do too.
Right. Like I have a blue dress on, and today I have a pink jacket. Sometimes I wear black and blue, a lot of purple, but my brand colors are purple, pink, and navy. So if I go out networking, I rarely wear anything that's not in those colors, because you're right. I want the messaging, I want the visual, I want to leave a lasting first impression, but I want to be memorable.
Exactly. Well, I work with a branding coach, and one of his things is always like, you need to stand out. If you don't stand out, you disappear.
That's right. Blend in or stand out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And there's nothing, I think too, women sometimes have an issue with putting on their crown and are a little too humble about who they are and what they offer. What are your thoughts about that?
You know, it's about being authentically you, but don't be obnoxious about it. You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
it's showing up as authentically you. But when I was in, there's a lot of things that go along, conceited or confidence, right? Aggressive, or, my background was in the corporate world, and they had their whole lingo. But I believe that you should wear your confidence strongly because it's professional. People want to do business with someone who's put together, who's confident, who radiates that energy out, that, work with me. I know what I'm doing. I'm confident. And I think it's very important. The people with the wimpy handshakes, the people that are too quiet, you're always selling yourself. In a non-pushy, conceited way. I mean, I even hate that word, but we need to be confident.
Yeah. No, I think that is such a good point, because people want to do business with you. They'll buy your products, but they want to do business with you. They don't like you. It doesn't matter if you have the best product in the entire world.
That's right.
You aren't selling it.
That's right.
No, yeah, I think be confident. And I think a lot of people,
not crass. That's the word. Be confident, not crass. I mean, no one wants someone that's obnoxious and, bullying, but be confident.
Yeah, exactly. I'm glad you mentioned the handshake too, because when I was in high school, that was like the one thing I really took away from high school, was that they taught us how to shake hands properly, not too hard, not too wimpy, and people are to this day are like, wow, nice handshake to me. Like, okay,
it's important.
It is. Yeah, because you don't want to crush somebody's hand either, because that's that going too far aspect of things.
Right.
Oh my goodness. So we touched on confidence a little bit, and you were mentioning like how you appear. Wouldn't you say too that once you kind of have that image in your mind, that your confidence will grow as well, because it's almost
absolutely.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's what I'm all about, helping people be healthy and wealthy, being confident, and put together so they can have a healthy business, a healthy message, a healthy, aura. We manifest the things that we put the energy out for. And when people look good, they feel good. When they feel good, they look good, and it all works together.
And, I like to say too, that if you're not wealthy, you probably aren't healthy, because I don't know about you, but I've lived some times where money was lean and I was so stressed.
Right. It all is tied together.
It is. It really is. And it's kind of fascinating too to me how sometimes what is stopping you in success, whether it is health and wellness in the traditional sense or with your business, it could be as something that isn't what you expect. Like, for example, the energy that you present when you go out is not quite right, because you're not wearing the color that makes you feel confident. You're not, you don't have your hair fixed in a way that makes you feel attractive, and it's not necessarily even for other people, but what makes you feel good. I like that. I always think too of like Sally Jesse Raphael. Remember her with her red glasses? I mean, that was her signature,
Right. She stood out with that. That was her personality. That was her personality. And, I've done a lot of things. I've done image consulting, and you have to be comfortable. Pick something that you're comfortable in. And so, and teal's the universal color. So teal looks good on everybody. And so if you're struggling, you don't feel good that day, put on a teal shirt or a teal jacket, and you can't go wrong because it looks good with every single complexion level, and also with every skin tone.
That's amazing. So I don't know if you know this, Phyllis, but I used to work in addiction recovery. And so there's a lot of slogans in the AA and NA realm and all of that. And one of them, which I love, it used to drive me bananas, but it's suit up and show up.
Yes.
No matter what, suit up and show up. And so when people would come and celebrate, a year sobriety or whatever, their birthdays is what it's called, they would be dressed up to the nines. And it was always so much fun because you knew it was their birthday.
Oh, that's awesome. And you know what? Yeah. I think that you mentioned women a few minutes ago. And I think when women feel good about themselves, they're unstoppable.
Yes. I couldn't agree more. And I just, society has sort of taught us to try to blend in and not shine. But if we want to make the difference that most of us do, then we really need to, shine.
Right.
I love that. I love that. And I like the idea too of, talking about colors and makeup and image and using it as a tool to help, because sometimes, they say, feelings, it's an inside job, but sometimes changing the outside makes a huge difference. I don't know about you, but if I were to go to a black tie benefit wearing a tracksuit, I would not feel comfortable in my own skin.
Unless you were at the Chicago Auto Show, right? Yeah, exactly.
Just like, whoa, I would not feel confident. My body, my posture would be like, So I like this idea though of using almost like, your clothing, your jewelry, all these things as a tool.
Your style, right?
Yeah,
it's your style.
Yeah, I love that. Instead of like it, yeah, I like that idea. So I'm going to put this up one more time, and I just want you to talk a little bit more about like so if people come to this particular, the network with me, then they fill out a form, and what happens then?
Then I reach out to them so we can continue the conversation, because I believe it asks for your email, but it's pointed questions like, what do you are you looking to network? Are you looking to collaborate? Who are you looking to collaborate with? Mm-hmm. What drives you? And how can I best, serve you? And then again, about the chapters. So there is a thing on there. You just answer the questions.
And then something that I think I want to make sure we mention is it's not like if somebody has their own chapter that you're just like, bye, good luck. Don't you work with them, right?
I do work with them. So I mentor them on networking and mastering networking, and also growing a profitable business, because it has revenue streams built into it, into owning a chapter. And, when I look back at my career after I left engineering, I have been leading a networking group since before 2011. And that was really my key to success, because, owning a chapter and being a leader, you can lead with that in your community. You can be visible in your community, but it's a great way to practice speaking and leading and serving others by doing that. So no, I have a manual, I have a quick start guide, I've got templates, and just support.
And I like this idea too. I mean, it takes us to a whole nother level, but it's the idea of it has a purpose. You're just not doing this for fun,
Right.
although you're going to have fun. It's not, I like this idea of making it profitable instead of, money going out for that.
Right. Networking on purpose, purposeful networking, and making it profitable. Otherwise, why would you go out unless you just wanted to make a bunch of new friends?
Yeah. And that's okay. But why not just, I don't know. I just thought there's other ways to do that.
That's right.
There's definitely other ways. We are almost out of time. We only have about 2 or 3 minutes left. So I'm just curious, is there anything else that you would love to share with the audience that maybe you haven't, or if there's something that you just would love to reiterate?
One of my favorite phrases is enthusiasm is the electricity of life. And, love what you do and do what you love. If not, you're not doing the right thing. And I do have a book coming out through Achieve that is the journey from employee to entrepreneur in 5 easy steps. And so, really look at what you're doing, and is this your life work, or is there something else that's tugging at your heart that you really want to do? And you can also, I actually found what I'm doing now through networking. I was introduced to this whole business model that I'm doing because I was out networking and someone shared with me. I would have never known.
I love that idea. I think that that's amazing, because the one thing I learned from like my business coaches through the years is what you start with is not usually what you end up with. So keep your eyes open.
Right. I took my skill set from being an engineer and a program manager, and I turned that into running my own business.
I like that idea. And when you say too that it's kind of nice when you start living your dreams instead of fitting your dreams to your current situation. Like a lot of people just sort of, I don't know, they just sort of like dumb down their dreams because they don't necessarily know how to reach them.
That's right.
Yeah.
Keep going.
All right. So I'm going to, one last time, this is Phyllis's official website for everything. And they can also do the network with me through here too, correct?
Yes.
The form? Okay, cool. Yep. Cool.
The form's listed in the center. I just put the extra link to it.
Yeah, exactly. So people can find it automatically if that's what they want to go with first. I love that.
I'd love to meet you. Reach out.
Yeah, exactly. I just want to say thank you so much for being on the show. I have really enjoyed this time with you. And, I look forward, I get to see Phyllis soon.
Yes, same here.
I'm excited. In real life again, we're going to have dinner. So
that's right. And I'm going to come out to California for one of your things too in a few months.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. Definitely excited to have you out here. But anyway, that is all the time that we have. So Phyllis, thank you again for joining us today.
Thank you so much again for the opportunity. And I'm really looking forward to people reaching out and seeing how I can best serve them.
Absolutely. Bye for now.
All right. Bye-bye.
And that is all the time that we have. So enjoy your weekend, everyone. And we'll see you on Monday. Bye for now.